Hey there, thanks for tuning into Navstar. Today we are reviewing an awesome FPV plane carried by HobbyKing known as the ZOHD Altus. A perfect FPV plane to get started with in the hobby. I'm really excited to share this with you. I didn't know HobbyKing had some FPV planes. And when I had the opportunity to take a look at the ZOHD, I was immediately impressed. So let's take a fly with her, shall we? The ZOHD Altus is a 980mm twin motor V-tail that I believe is one of the best first FPV planes you can get right now. It's very stable, extremely well built, and it's made for FPV pilots who are really just starting out. You can fly this right out of the box. It's very, very balanced. You can put in a GoPro camera if you don't have the FPV equipment, or a Insta360 Go or any other similar recording camera, and fly it line of sight just to get the feel for what it's like to get some footage. We went ahead and modified it slightly with a 3D printed nose cone and a flight controller to fly it the way we fly it. So you'll get to see how it comes out of the box. Here's a good shot of it with its provided nose cone. And you'll also get to see how we provided the 3D printed nose cone to handle our FPV equipment. It's extremely well built, a very unique V-tail with an integrated non-push rod type assembly. The servo mounts are embedded into the wings, and a lot of thought went into the production of this model. We flew with the Maiden 405 wing on this model, and it's just filled with little features that make it really well thought out, like the embedded slots on the wings where you could put a forward-facing or down-facing camera, or even run your antennas out there. The motors came pre-installed, and I was very impressed with the Metal Gear 9-gram servos. So assembly was nothing. I really don't want to waste your time with that, but I will show some of my mods, like the power supply button that I placed in there to turn off the video transmission unit, which is typically one that overheats if it's sitting on the ground too long. Happy to share some details on that. I did install a DJI 04 Air unit, and here's the soldering that I did for the power button. I thought that was a nice modification. I'll provide a link to the 3D printed nose cone below. Thank you very much for posting that, Bonafide Pirate. Appreciate you. And I did create a very simple pan servo on the nose for that purpose. I wanted to keep it really light. So here was the Maiden. You'll notice that the footage is stabilized. That's the footage that comes directly off the DJI 04 Air unit. That does not have an overlay on it when you download it from the camera itself, but I did provide an overlay through a secondary program I have called Telemetry Overlay. So she flew great. This particular aircraft is very, very well balanced, requiring a minimum amount of tuning in the air. Most of you who are experienced FPV pilots know that when you put a new model in the air, you have to run the auto-tune routine, which I did, but very little was required in terms of adjustments once it was in the air. It was very, very balanced. This is a view from the HUD that you have displayed for you when you're flying FPV with goggles. This is a standard iNav setup that is the only system that I typically fly with. There are others out there. Ardu Pilot being one. This iNav, though, is very, very simple, and I'll be putting up some videos shortly on how to set those up. But let's talk about the ZOHD or ZOHD Altus. Fun little plane, very balanced. It's not an aerobatic aircraft, nor would I expect it to be. The FPV platform is designed for long-range, stable flight, and the ZOHD is no exception to that. It is a great flyer. As you can see here, we got some good footage. It was a very brisk day for flying, and you could actually get this thing to just about hover nearby you, with the breeze. And it was quite gusty. Sometimes it was a bit of a struggle to get her to perform loops and rolls, and that's not unexpected. But I generally don't do that with my FPV planes anyway, so it was important to do so during the auto-tune process because the flight controller does learn. If you're not familiar with flight controllers, well, basically they take all the inputs that the plane has, from GPS, roll, pitch, yaw, control surface, and power, and puts it into one little box that it can respond to the control inputs from the pilot. Having all that equipment in there allows it to fly as an autopilot. It can fly stabilized, it can fly unstabilized. We will be putting up a video here in the near future on how to set that up from the ground up, but for right now, if you wanted to get into the air with FPV and just put a camera in there that's not FPV that you can review footage later, this is a great one for it. If you noticed early on in the video, you can remove the nose cone, and it's prefabricated to support a GoPro unit or any other plane for that matter. And that's in fact the way that I got started in the hobby. Was I literally duct taped a GoPro to a carbon cub and flew it around and reviewed the video, and that might be a great way to start for you, because once you get the footage from an FPV aircraft, it doubles the fun. It really does, because not only do you get to enjoy flying it around, but when you get home you can review what you've done. And I would highly recommend that for somebody who is just getting started in this. And then gradually you can go ahead and get some equipment. Again, I fly with DJI, but there's plenty of other options out there, Fat Shark and some analog type VTX units, and you can gradually build your equipment set up. The Altus is rated for a 4S 2200 all the way up to a 7000 lithium ion pack. I did fly with lithium ion. The 2200 Turnigy is great, lots of power. I could probably get about maybe 15 minutes of flight. I could probably get 20 if I was really judicious on the use of the throttle. I didn't push it though. So the difference between the 4S 2200 and a 7000 lithium ion is that the lithium ion doesn't have quite the power, but it's got the range. So I would strongly encourage you, if you're going to be getting into FPV, is to invest in a lithium ion pack. But for today's review, we kept it simple with the Turnigy 2200 4S, which is the perfect match for your first flights. Very responsive, on average 12 minutes, but again, you could go much farther if you were good with the throttle. So it's not terribly expensive. That battery nails the center of gravity right on the money. So plug it in, bind it, and you're ready to go. Taking off with this aircraft, I can't thank the designers enough. It literally just took off in my hands. The twin motors are great. It tracked really, really well. No issues with yaw, just very stable. Cruising at half throttle was really good. It feels really locked in the air. The V-tail, it does need a little bit more yaw authority. I felt that sometimes it struggled with some turns, but all in all, it's not an aerobatic plane. It's meant to get out there and fly. So I think that you will find that your setup will work really well with just a GoPro or even a lightweight VTX. I like the DJI 04 light air unit, of course. So first of all, it's a durable plane. It has a lot of carbon fiber reinforcement, which means you can probably make a few mistakes and it'll handle it. I've cartwheeled it a couple times with the gusty wind, and I didn't even notice any damage whatsoever. It doesn't stall easily. You can fly very slow and it still feels locked in. And the twin motors are really well built, and I did upgrade the props from the 3-bladed to the 2-bladed props that I have in order to give it a little more durability when landing, and I think that this has a lot of growth potential for you. So there you go. The ZOHD or ZOHD Altus, carried by HobbyKing, and you really should check it out. It's not terribly expensive, and it's super reliable. I had fun with it, and I plan on flying it a lot. There's so much more that this plane can do that I didn't get into, but I would encourage you to go out there and get one, and we'll be happy to help you out with it. There's a link below, and assembly is going to be very easy. I don't think you'll need much help with it, but I'll give this thing 5 out of 5 as a starter kit for FPV. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the comments, the likes, and the subscribes. You know, we have a lot of fun putting these out, so we appreciate your support. Have a great day no matter what. God bless.